I'm currently moving.
Welcome to another edition of the Hip Hop Advocate Show. This is Erupt.
De La Music.
And we're back with a repeat offender, as our man Figs loves to say. This man's got a lot of work since the last time he was here. He's dropped about 3 projects.
He's been on fire. He's been on fire.
A lot of music, a lot of music videos, a lot of shit going, a lot of shows. We attended a couple, shutting it down, and he also got a partner in crime with him today. Woo. That goes. I didn't even introduce the guest. It's my man Eff Yoo with his new PIC, Deep from Two Hungry Bros.
I thought it was PNC.
I
thought it was PNC.
What I said? DNC?
PIC.
PIC. Partner in crime. No, it's PIC.
Producer in charge.
No, partner in crime. Partner in crime.
What's up,
what up, man?
What up? What
We
up?
got
Thank y'all,
Deep.
thank y'all for having us in this special edition. You know what I
My
mean?
waves are huge. No,
Don't worry, we fixed that.
technical talk, people.
We'll get the engineer for that one.
Word, man. How y'all been, man?
Good, man. Good. Everything's good. Thank y'all for accommodating us with this special time and shit.
I'm enjoying the Hip Hop Advocates cocktail of choice.
The Johnny Coco?
Johnny and Coco.
The
Yeah.
cocotazo. The cocotazo.
The cocotazo.
Juanito Coco, right?
That's what we call it, the cocotazo.
Cocotazo.
After a couple names
Yeah,
that we
cheers
ran
to everybody tuning in.
through. Word up. After a couple names, we had like 5 names, and we finally stuck to one.
Cocotazo.
The cocotazo.
I didn't eat today, so it's a wrap.
We got a lot of stuff for you guys.
Well, it's early in the
good.
day. It's early in the day. Let's
It's
keep
like a
it slow.
taco spot I heard around the way. So,
Guys, let's get it.
To shove.
Let's get it
Not in the
started,
toilet.
man.
Let's go, man. Let's go. What
Let's
y'all
talk
wanna
about you guys. You guys got something in the works, something cooking in the kitchen.
Well, our last album was called Respectfully Eff Yoo. This is like a follow-up to that. It's like a follow-up.
With all due respect, Eff Yoo.
Yeah. It's
With
like
that's the name of this one.
that's
right?
the name of this one
Yeah,
coming out.
it's a play on words, like respectfully Eff Yoo, and then this one's with all due respect Eff Yoo.
No, it makes sense. It aligns. It's like volume 1, volume 2, volume 3.
Right, yeah. So
And
we're
we kept with the
taking
theme. We kept with the theme of the Fania covers.
Yeah.
With Hector and Willie and whatnot.
First of all, I want to say that album cover.
The first one, Respectfully.
The Hector Lavoe looking one.
That's one of my favorite fucking album covers I've ever seen.
Yo, let me tell you, now a lot of people collect vinyl, so it's not so much for play, but it's to like display. And I had a lot of people hit me up like, yo, son, I love that album cover, but every time I walk into the room, it's like your face is staring at me on the wall and shit. I'm like, yo, that's why I did it,
There was
man.
a lot of girls online who was like, yo, is that John Barenthal?
Oh.
The Punisher?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
all right,
I
all
was
right.
like, all right. You know what? I'm not. That's a good compliment for him. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
no.
I thought you were gonna say John B. When I used to have my hair cut short and I went into the barbershop, they used to be like, yo, there's John B. Like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, that shit look like an album cover for baladas. Like you feel like you're gonna play that, you're gonna hear a bunch of
right? Yeah.
the first track is like straight fucking hardcore shit. As soon
Fuck
as
you.
as
That's
soon
I
as
had
you
to let them
started.
know, kid.
Yo,
Same for the week.
You guys got great chemistry when it comes to making music. How do you guys link up? That's one question we want to know.
I mean, we really have to go to Deep for that because Deep reached out to me, but I don't know how. Like he first heard of me and shit. You know what I mean? I heard of Deep. Not for nothing. Deep and Two Hungry Bros. They're like legendary hip hop producers in the underground New York scene. That's a fact. They did a lot of joints. They've been in the scene since what I perceive as the beginning of underground hip hop music in New York, like the late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So I've heard of the guys. I never met them. You know what I mean? To have them reach out, I was like, yeah, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'll work with y'all. But I don't know how he first heard of me.
So actually, we unofficially met. Shout out Doc Ock, because
right.
I was DJing for Doc Ock's radio show.
Okay.
So rest in peace, Doc Ock. And you came. So one of the I'm a horrible radio DJ because if there's a I'm doing them a favor, but if there's a guest and I don't like the music, I won't play your tracks.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sorry.
And meanwhile,
Like,
the guest
you're not gonna hear from me. You know what I'm saying? I got a reputation to uphold for not playing whack-ish. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I had really crazy standards. And so one Friday, Eff Yoo was the guest, and I got sent all the tracks, and I'm like, oh man, these are hilarious. These are great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then at the same time, I was like, whew, I don't have to get into a fight with this guy because he back in the day he was coming in and you came in that day like. Chested and like, you know, don't talk
Straight out the gym.
We try to have a small chest now, motherfucker.
Oh, you're hiding it under that big sweater. Let's not talk about the push-ups. No. Yo, but nah. So then, you know, like I always dug his stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's visual. Like for me, I have to with MCs, I have to see the rhymes. And he had a very audio visual thing. It appeals to all five senses, all everything he talks about. Like you can see it, you can taste it, you can smell it, whatever. And that's a sign of a good writer. Mm-hmm. And I always appreciated that. So years later, he turns up on this cat, Garcia Vega's album that I produced. I sent this cat beats, and then he popped up on the track. Now whoever engineered it, they put a chorus on there that was off beat. Mm. Oh wow! And I heard it, and I'm like, but I like this verse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was like, man, the first time I get F rhyming on my beat, right? And it got a, una mierda. You know what I'm saying? And so then the real crime is that he thought that I did that.
Oh, the hook! You thought that you the one who put that shit there?
Your name was slandered.
Yeah.
Yo, the truth is that I have bad experiences with engineers and selling verses and stuff like that. You could never tell what that person's gonna do with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And
I've gotten stuff back that's my verse is off beat, or they've changed the beat. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, what I do is art, man. So if I said something a certain way on that beat, it's because of the way that beat is. Yeah. If you're going to change the beat, you can't move my vocals. That's a fucking sin because now you're fucking it all up.
So
but if you're going to change the beat, it's like, you know what I mean?
Fucking up the whole
you
feel.
Fucking up the whole feel.
That you
I would have written
to
something
it.
else.
Yeah.
You know
The
what I'm
dude took an outro from another beat of mine. It was like a singer. It was like, mira, como pasan las cosas, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was, and it was from the end of another beat, and he put it in the middle of a beat that he was rhyming on. And like I said, it was off beat. And I'm like, yo, it crushed me because I liked that singing part where it was.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it on. Anyways, I posted, I collect a lot of vinyl, whatever. I was, because I got a dig and blah, blah, blah. So I posted the picture of the Grease soundtrack, but the Spanish one. There's a Spanish cover album, and then you said something.
Grasa.
Yeah,
it's called Grasa.
Anyway, he commented on it, and I'm like, oh, I said something to the effect like, sounds like we should make something, and he's like, don't threaten me with a good time, and I'm like, oh, this guy's hilarious. He's a good person, and like we just linked up, and so he jumped on my compilation. What Dad listens to, and I was like, even like once again, he came through with the audio visual attack on the beat, and like this has to keep going further. And the thing about F that I really haven't had in all those years he's telling me about, that he's not a come mierda, and like
that's big right there.
That's really
especially
big.
in the music industry.
Yeah,
everybody's come mierda.
Like having being a responsible adult. And like shout outs to Breeze Ever Flowing because that's the other artist I work with, and he's also very consistent. But F was F like actually Breeze and F we've known each other for like 20 of each other for 20 plus years, and just it was a breath, a fresh air kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy comes through, this guy's responsible. He does, so.
Well, even like with us, like the first time we linked up and he came, you made the effort. You came with your family, with your baby, your newborn, right. Your wife, your dog.
My daughter was just born. I came here with her,
and he was like, nah, he's like
old.
Like
with the dog, with my dog Kona.
It says a lot about.
Shout out to Kona.
Yo, he performed with the dog.
And I performed.
The dog was
with
doing
Kona.
the ad-libs.
Word up, yeah.
It's a testament of who you are as a person.
It's dedication. I think it's something like that we get from our families. I'm New Rican, Puerto Rican. He's Peruvian, but we get that, like that dedication that you gotta represent, or else people are gonna think you're a piece of shit.
A lot of people don't know.
Curse on this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. No.
Shit.
You
say shit, fuck, bitch.
I don't want you to get
slap balls,
whatever. But it was always the family. When you go outside, you make sure you represent. And that's the kind of thing. And so that kind of integrity is what I get from Eff, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that first track, that's one of my favorite tracks. It's called Warwick Davis, and Warwick Davis is
Dwarf actor.
a dwarf actor. You
He
know
was
what I
in
mean? He
Willow.
was Willow. He was
Very famous.
you know, the Ewoks and shit. He's very famous. But when he sent me the beat, the sample sounds like a small, tiny person playing the piano. That's what I heard. So I wrote this whole 2-verse song about like a midget's life. You know what I'm
A
saying?
crazy midget with like special powers.
Yeah, so, but that beat was so ill, man, that, you know, I wrote that right, and it's still to this day one of my favorite tracks and shit. And then from then on, it was like, yo, whatever you got, let me know, you know what I mean? And let's
How
try to
was
make
that
it
track?
fit.
When
Was
that drop?
when my
That's
dad listened to it.
2022. It was
It's
pandemic.
online?
It was like pandemic era.
Is it online?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's online, it's records,
It's
we
on
got
vinyl. It's on everything. We
Last time
official.
we were
B.
here, it was out. You were here, it was out. I want to say.
Probably 2022,
Yeah.
yeah. I came with Gems and A after that, but I
Yeah,
wasn't on
yeah,
camera.
that time, yeah.
I just came with them to chill.
But I remember, that was around, that was September. Like that's when we dropped the episode around September, the last interview.
It turned out that the sample, it was a Greek sample. So I had a Greek person tell me, "Yo, that in the vocal sample, it actually says, isn't that crazy?"
Oh yeah,
That's what you're hearing in Greek, as like he's rhyming.
Damn, look at that.
Yeah.
That shit'll hit.
That was quite a
That shit'll hit
synchronicity.
big in the Greek community. Take that
Shout
shit
out
to
to
Astoria.
Astoria. Come
Let's
on,
take that
guys.
shit to Astoria, yeah.
All right, we took it back. Let's move fast forward. You guys got something cooking up right now. Master plan.
Yeah, Master Plan is the first single from the follow-up to Respectfully Eff Yoo. That's the single we just dropped.
That's with the video, right? That's the video?
That's
Yeah,
the video,
that's the
yeah.
video.
All right,
And
all
shout
right,
outs
all
to the original name for Master Plan was Bunch of Bochinche.
Oh yeah, the original
But
title was Bunch of Bochinche.
We scaled it back. We didn't want to be, because you know people have their like misgivings. Oh, they're too Latin. You know what I'm saying?
Now you know what it was. I'll be honest. The first album, you know, it's got the Hector Lavoe cover. It's all of them are Latin or Spanish
They're
samples,
all
right?
Latin. Yeah, all of our joints are Latin samples.
And it wasn't supposed to be that way. It's not like we started that way. Those happened to just be that's where he was at the time making beats.
And those are the beats you
and those
picked.
are the beats I picked.
Yeah.
It's after I picked those beats that I'm like, yo, let's make this. Like, I want to make the cover Hector Lavoe. Like, let's really fucking sit on this. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo.
But I didn't want it to become something where people are like, oh, y'all trying to just use that. You know what I'm saying?
the
Because y'all know, y'all have
Spanish.
heard my records before. My records are everywhere, bro.
Uh-huh.
My
it's
records
not like
are everywhere.
deliberate.
You know,
We
where
like
I
to
grew up
represent.
in the hood. I grew up in Corona, and there's everything there: Indian, Chinese, Spanish, black. You know, all countries. It's the fucking melting pot.
Melting
So,
pot, yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
want
from
anybody.
the lower. I got Judíos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
Judío,
and
Chino,
Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans.
No, because that shit. I mean, your music is made like to be able to reach
Right,
different.
right.
You know, it's not just like, oh, I'm just a Spanish dude. Only Spanish people are gonna relate. Like,
I didn't
nah,
want
your
people.
shit.
I didn't want people to think that, but it just so happened that that's where this album was, and even the follow up wasn't really supposed to go that route, but it just is where it went. So the follow up album is called With All Due Respect. It's like a companion piece. You know what I mean? It's an EP.
Yeah.
And it's right now we're only putting it out on vinyl for now. It's a 7-inch vinyl, you know, the small 45s and
Yeah.
shit. And that should be coming out next week. Pre-order it
shit.
now though. I don't know when this is coming out, but you can go ahead and hit me up.
We'll speed it
Hit
up
people
to meet that date.
Yeah, it's all
We'll do
good.
that.
But Master Plan is the first single off
All
it.
right.
Shouts to Clear Visions from Queensbridge. He did a great job with the video, man.
That video is official.
Yeah,
that video is
man.
official.
My son is very he's very cinematic with it. I usually have the ideas for my videos. Me and Deep talk sometimes, or sometimes I'm like, nah, I know what I want to do already. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, I want to go to Junction where all the food is at, where all that chicas is
My
at.
man Deep was eating something good.
Yo, cause well, when I was coming up, you know, down the block was Roosevelt, man. You know
Junction
what I mean?
was where everybody used to go.
Right, exactly.
Numbers
And-
was there. That's where Numbers was at.
Yo,
Chicas,
you
good.
stole a car, you went down Junction, down by the LIRR, and you fucking sold it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or sold parts. That's just what it was. So that's where we went. You know, that corner is a Junction and Roosevelt, and then we went down Junction down to the old spots where, you know, the
Things happened.
things happened down that block. You know what I mean? Then we went down by LaGuardia and shit. Like,
It's crazy. I went to an underground during COVID with Maniac, right off Roosevelt Junction.
uh-huh.
We went to like one of them like fucking underground spots where it's it's like a 99-cent store. But then at night.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And it was a roll down gate, and then the roll down gate opened like a slide, like a little slide,
little
like
slide, yeah. And it was it neon lights, like red and green neon lights?
I don't know, nigga, but we went down this basement, my nigga. We went down this basement, my nigga. That shit was a full blown club.
Yes.
Wow.
From a 99-cent store to 99-cent whores.
And it was exactly that. Chica spot. I was like, only maniac would know about these kind of fucking places.
So I knew I wanted to shoot the video there because you know the hook is kind of like I'm talking about, being like a teenager at home. You know what I mean?
My
mama used to wake up Sundays and blast salsa while cleaning the sala. I'm in my room bagging marijuana, relaxing and actually masterfully crafting the master plan how to clap nalgas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, when I was a teenager, when that stuff was happening that I'm talking about in the chorus, that's where I lived and that's where I would go. You know what I'm saying? And that's where everybody was at. It was out on Roosie, it was out, out on Junction or down Spaghetti Park. You know what I mean? So I wanted to shoot it there.
All the tracks are recorded. Everything is good to go.
Oh yeah.
The vinyl is on its way.
It's in the plans.
Fire.
It's there. There's no waiting. We wanted a way to have the vinyl in hand before even releasing the first song. But, as you guys know, and a lot of listeners may or may not know, a lot of artists know, the plants take a very long time to get the record back, and they kind of got you by the balls. Once you pay them the money, they can take fucking 7 months if they want to. Like, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean?
They'll send you the out of office email.
Yeah, it's a racket.
When you're crying, like, come on.
Yeah, you're
out
trying to find out.
Sorry.
And they're like, yo, we can take however long we want. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is when you do it independent. Yeah. But it is on the way. That record's ready to go. It features the homie Trey 8, the homie Blue Azul. We got a remix with AL, all lyrical. It's another underground hip hop legend. Yep. A guy that has kind of not taken me under his wing, but he's shown me mad love, and it means a lot because that was one of the guys back in the late '90s when you'd walk to Fat Beats. He was one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? He's an underground legend.
I got to meet him at
New York. Oh yeah.
He started. He was one of the guys who started New York underground hip hop in the way that it was battling and all that. He's Colombian, man. You know what I mean? And he's from New York. You know what I'm saying? So he was good enough to bless me with a verse on one of the remixes.
Dope.
Nice.
And that's ready to go. We're not waiting on that. That's done.
That's coming. And then you got 2 more projects coming after that, right?
And a bunch of more videos.
Yeah. We have at least 2 more videos for
that project that you.
With all due respect, yeah. I have another video that we already shot. Shouts to the homie GS Advance, helped us out with that. And then another video that the homie Clear Vision is gonna hook up for us that we haven't shot yet, but we'll probably shoot within the next couple. To be honest, I was waiting for the weather to get better. That week that it was 80, I'm like, perfect, bro. Next week we'll shoot. It's nice out, and it got freezing, so we're just kind of waiting.
Back to fucking winter.
That's New York for you.
Yeah, because if you see Master Plan, I'm freezing, my nigga, in that video, and we're by the water. I'm freezing in that video. You can't tell, but I'm like fucking dying, son. That's why my hood is up, son. I'm dying in that video. It's fucking bleeding.
I kept my cap on. I had a T-shirt on in that one.
God damn.
Yeah, tag us on everything, man. We'll be there for the rollout. We'll help
you. Yeah,
out
you guys always supported, man, and I thank you guys for that, man. Even before I came up here, when I first met y'all was at a show that I was at, and you guys supported since then and before then. So thank you.
That's like one thing, like Deep said, like your just your whole catalog is ill. Like that's why we show up and show out. When you around and you doing something, when you come through, we're gonna pull out because we respect your artistry.
That's another reason I try to put on a good show, man. And it's not always perfect. Deep will tell you sometimes I forget lines, but even when I forget lines, I try to scoop it up. You know what I mean? I try to make it work. I try to make it fun for the people who are watching the show. I talk a little bit of shit about myself, about the crowd, about people outside. You know what I mean?
It's good showmanship.
Because I want to make sure that the people who come to the show have fun. 'Cause I've been to so many shows where I'm waiting for the headliner or 2 of the headliners, and then there'll be 10 people before them, and then I'm like, bro, why did you give these people a slot? You know what I'm saying? So I don't want people to walk away thinking, if I'm not the headliner, well, why did they give this guy a shot? You know what I mean? So I try to put on a good show.
Yeah, the stage presence is, it's something that we always love. we joking around, we cracking up because, like he says, you like a comedian up there in the best way. You know what I'm saying?
I think I wrote it on one of your comments. I'm like, yo, you a funny ass nigga, like, and I meant that in the most respectful way.
The comical.
I'm like, yo, this nigga.
yeah,
I'm like, every time I see this nigga, perform, I'm like, yo, this shit is like, it's just. I'm always fucking busting out laughing because just your fucking whole working the audience is just funny as fuck.
It's a feeling.
Yeah, I feel like, when you're up there performing and you're looking at the faces and shit, a lot of times it's head bopping and a lot of times it's like the nasty face, like, yeah, oh, that's crazy. And but a lot of times it's blank faces and you got to call that shit out. Like, yo, my man, what are you doing here, bro? Get out of here.
Don't be in my mouth, bro.
Yeah, go back to the bathroom. You fucking up my flow. Or a bitch will be walking out while you're trying to rap. Like, where you going, ma? Get back over here, babe. You going to miss the best part of the show.
Hopefully, our goal when we get near our 100th episode is to actually do an event. And we're hoping that we want to have. We're not gonna have like every fucking guest that we had on perform because then it'll just be a fucking whole night. But we at least want to be selective, and you definitely want to do that. We would love.
Thank you, man. No, I think that'll be a great idea. I think New York. This may sound crazy, but I think New York needs more shows for the underground culture. That you guys have a great format here, and I've seen you guys grow and get. Bigger name, bigger artists, and be more respected. Not to say you weren't respected before, but I'm saying the respect has grown within the industry. That when you guys come out to a show, like they already know, oh shit, Hip Hop Advocates is here. You know what I'm saying? Let's go do an interview. So I think if you guys put together a show, it would be an event that people will go to, rather than just anybody putting on a show. Like whatever, he's putting his boys on. Whatever, I might go, I might not go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll make sure it's right.
If you guys go, I think it'll be an event. I'd be happy to be a part of it, man.
I would like for you to be like, shut the fucking door, man. It's gonna be the best fucking show of your life, man. Get the fuck in.
Yeah, it depends. It depends what we're doing, man. If we're on the next album, or it depends where I'm at that moment, man. I might come out with fucking. A whole salsa band and shit. And fucking, I've been thinking about it. That'd be a fly show, but it all depends on where it goes. You know what I mean?
Where you
right, exactly.
of course.
So, Eff Yoo, you've been here before. You kind of know how we got busy over here. We got a few segments, and right now we have a segment. Pretty much, I've been looking at you guys' work, especially you, my man, searching your socials. I got your social security number. I was buying shit. I was sending shit to him. So I was just checking.
Those were.
So I was just
Damn, B.
We've been seeing you perform. We've been
That was
going to
a
your
lot of
shows. We've been seeing you perform, going to your shows. We love your shit. I know. I was like, yo, what's this, son? Anyways, right now, this is called Searching for Eff Yoo. So pretty much, I got a few pictures. You know how it goes. I got a few pictures, and we just want you to explain what you were doing.
Uh-oh.
Some of it is illegal. Some of it is not.
Holy shit.
So check it out.
I plead the
You don't have
fifth.
to serve us another drink.
So the first one we were just talking about, which is great to talk about.
Okay.
Oh, this is the master plan video.
Yeah.
This is the
Talk
master
about
plan
it.
video.
The influences.
This was shot. This was shot by the marina. You know what I mean?
By City
Flushing Meadow Park. At the very end of Flushing Meadow Park, if you walk the marina, this is where it ends.
Yeah.
After this is Grand Central Parkway. After this is Grand Central. Like, you just have to walk on the highway and get hit.
Oh, you're talking about like going towards LaGuardia.
Yeah, it's right across from LaGuardia. Because in Master Plan, there's also a part of the hook. There's also part of the song. What I say, man, I'm just trying to catch a plane out of state. Wait in the lounge for a steak, then catch a plane out to Spain.
See,
you know
I'm
what I'm saying?
I'm pointing away.
So yeah, we happened to be at a spot where
Planes came
normally the planes would fly over us to land. However, we having fucking the horrible luck we have. It was windy as fuck,
hell.
so they were diverting the planes. So every now and then you'll see a plane behind us there, but it wasn't the shot we were going for, which is the planes going right over our heads and shit.
That would have been a little shot.
But yeah, that's a Queens. And listen, that spot, I told Deep that day, I'm like, yo, I'll throw a listening party here because it's like a down low spot right next to the Grand Central Parkway, right under a walkway.
Beautiful scenery.
And it's beautiful scenery, and it's the very end of the marina, the very end of the park. Mm-hmm. So, look out for a secret Not there. There's nothing. I'm telling you, right where we are, if you step this way, You know that mobile off the Grand Central Parkway by LaGuardia? That's right next to us and shit. That's where we are.
Oh shit.
There's nothing there and shit. But it'd be a dope spot to do a hidden show or a little hidden listening party. You know what I'm saying?
I had a fun time watching Deep in the video. Like he was going towards with all the lyrics. Like you were saying, like he was working out, and one thing he's working out.
There's a lot of
Oh,
things
boy.
that weren't caught.
He's
that I was
eating
doing in the
food.
back.
Oh,
They didn't
boy.
catch all the oranges I had to eat for that video.
Yeah, he ate like 8 oranges.
I was eating oranges and all
Oh,
the things,
man.
but they didn't catch
If you
OD'd
think
on
that
vitamin
Deep,
C.
If you think that Deep was fucking entertaining in this video, wait till you see the next video, my guy. Yo, he went into his part like he's fucking Christian Bale. Like he went method acting the whole way, and it's fire. That's the next video. I'm not even gonna talk too much
shit.
about it.
All right, talk about this one over here. This one is dope. One
Summit
of my
after summit.
favorite artists as well.
Sábado Night Live.
Yeah, that's Sábado Night Live video shoot.
Produced by Deep, right? You produced
Yep,
that.
Nice.
That's from Respectfully Eff Yoo. That's
I was
me.
on a cruise that day, so I couldn't go.
Yeah, that's me with homeboy
Not serious.
Sandman. Sand also, man. Sand is also. He goes back. He goes back to like the early 2000s of making waves. man, and
2006.
yeah, doing shows at Fat Beats as well before they closed down. And I've always respected his pen game. You know what I mean? It's different.
Ooh.
His pen on that shit was. I be playing that shit back. That verse.
And it's funny because that's not the verse that was originally on that.
No shit.
Right. So, did he spit to that beat first?
Yeah.
Okay, so the beat for Sábado Night Live, Sand had a verse on it, and it was not used. So I said, hey, listen, reach out to Sand and ask him if he'll be on our album, you know what I'm saying? And I'll put a verse on this. I put my verse on it, and Sand was like, nah, I'm going to do another verse and shit. Like, I can't-
Respectfully.
Because
Respectfully.
you know what? It
Respectfully.
was like it was like a pan doblado kind of a verse. It was very he did it like, yo, Deep, we boys. Let me.
He did it like a favor, but
Yeah,
then
but like
once I put my verse on it,
Singana, you know what I'm
he was
saying?
like, all right, the competitive nature came out and shit. You know what I'm saying? So his verse is amazing. And after his verse, I'm like, well, who can I send these two verses to who would do it justice? And I don't have to go back and be like, your verse ain't good enough to be on this
Yeah,
song.
Gems
And
kill
that was
that
Spit
shit too.
Gems. So I
Yeah.
sent it to Gems and I told him that. I'm like, yo, son, I know you're gonna kill this. You know what I'm saying? I kind of wanted him to write before listening to our verses, but I sent him the two verses. Like, I got this, and then his verse was the perfect compliment at the end, and that was the video shoot that night in Bushwick. That's Bushwick. That's old school Bushwick. That's Puerto
Knickerbocker.
Rican. Bushwick and Knickerbocker.
By the train.
Right under
That's
the
by me.
train, there was a salsa, like little salsa fest going on the corner.
Yeah, Viejitos, they do their little thing. They do
The reason we shot Deep happened to be on a cruise, and I wouldn't have shot it that day, but Sand was like on tour. He was back from tour, and he was like, yo, I only got
Yeah, it was
a
available.
few days to do it and shit. So
You got a
I'm like,
mean
"All right."
tan right there.
Yeah, exactly. He came from wherever he was at.
no, man,
you were on a
bronceado.
meeting. You came back from the MSC cruise, I think, didn't it?
Oh, I might have been. I might have
came
been
back
on the
from the
MSC cruise.
We
That's
be
right.
Got touched by
we
the sun.
cruisers.
Cruises, the cruising crew.
All right, cool. Let's go to the next one.
That's definitely ill track.
You brought him up too. Talk about it, man.
Oh, that's my brother Spit Gems, man. That's the last video that he put out for his new album
Oh yeah,
with Checkmate.
I copped it.
And the song is called 1,000 Yard Stairs. And, stairs is written like stairs. You know what I mean? 1,000 Yard Stairs. And he came through. That was shot in Long Island City. And you know Gems, man. That's my brother, man. It's just my bro, man. I know him for a very long time. I always say that he's one of the reasons that I'm rhyming today because he heard me, just like Deep was saying. Like he was like, yo, this dude is different. He was like, yo, you got to keep rhyming and shit. And he put the battery in my back at a point where I wasn't trying to rap. You know what I mean? I had been so long in the streets doing street shit, making money, hustling, you know what I mean? Making money that way. I didn't care about rapping because I didn't see a future in it. You know what I mean? I would rap, in ciphers and I would rap on the corner and that was fun, but I didn't see making money out of it or going anywhere with it until he put the battery in my back. And I respected his pen so much that when somebody like that, Tragedy, somebody like Method Man, somebody like Prodigy tells you, yo, you're different, bro. You got to keep going. You keep going. You know what I mean? And all those guys around the time when I first met Gems were like, yo, you got to keep going. So that's why I'm where I am today.
Before Gems came around, you was writing rhymes on a pterodactyl's wing.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's how long I've been rapping, son.
All right, let's go to
No, it was made of pterodactyl wings. It's a leather-bound book made of pterodactyl wings.
I got it wrong.
It's a very expensive book, is what I'm trying to say to you, man. Costs a lot of money.
Fuck, bro.
You remember that Chappelle sketch where he cracked the dinosaur egg?
Yeah, he made scrambled eggs. He made scrambled eggs.
It was like two eggs left.
That's what was
It
on
like
my
the
mind when I wrote that bar.
like the last egg.
This one is fucking hilarious.
Oh shit.
Yo, what's up with this right here, man?
Yeah.
It was just a quick skit.
Yo.
It was fucking hilarious, yo. I saw that.
That's
I'm like,
the
yo,
meat lady.
I gotta talk about this, man. It was fucking hilarious, bro.
Shout outs to her.
Shout outs to her, man.
C. C's made her look really pretty in that.
The that's another still from the master plan video that was shot on Junction and Roosevelt. Let me tell you something. Those ladies, you guys been on Roosevelt. They
Yeah.
sell tacos and they sell meat and they sell food all up and down Roosevelt.
Patelitos, all that shit.
Yeah, all that shit, right?
Empanadas.
These ladies are aggressive as fuck.
running
when we,
down cars,
yo,
going
when we
into
came, when we
windows.
got there, they was pulling my arm. They were like, "Come here, let me feed you," and all this. I'm like, "Oh, word, you want to feed me? You're gonna be in the video. You're not gonna like what I'm gonna do and shit." But they were very aggressive, man. They were really nice, really sweet. No disrespect.
We didn't get a good
yeah.
shot of them feeding us. though.
Right. They didn't disrespect us at all or anything like that. They were just trying to make sales.
I just thought it was so great to see like your showmanship, your like
So,
bringing
yo,
whatever you can into
She
the
was
video.
there. She kept saying, "I want to be in the video. I want to be in the video," and I kept ignoring her and shit till a certain part. I'm like, "You want to be in the video? Come here, babe. We gonna fucking dance in the video." So I just pulled her, and you noticed she didn't know what to do. She was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. You caught him off
She was
guard.
starstruck.
Hey, I don't dance this.
But she was very nice. They were all very nice. They were just very aggressive, trying to sell their plates.
You gotta show love to the community, man.
For sure. Yeah. Why not, man?
How long ago y'all shot that video?
That was this winter. When was it? February?
March. I thought it was March.
Early March?
Oh,
maybe?
recent.
Recent.
Yeah, it was like bang,
Yeah, that's
bang, bang.
recent.
We did it.
Yeah,
Again,
if you
shout
know,
out to
if you
Clear
notice,
Vision, man.
Yo, you
turn
remember that?
around.
Remember that day? It was like really nice in March. That weekend, it was
Mhm.
nice on Saturday.
and then it just got fucking
Then the
30-degree
Sunday was-
difference.
Yeah, the Sunday was-
Right, yeah.
Because if you notice, Roosevelt since the whole Trump shit, like they cleaned that shit.
They cleaned it up.
Oh yeah, because
Oh, no.
we were looking for
Yeah.
them, like the Asian joints with the masajes.
Oh
Right.
man,
But yeah, no,
they're still in 90th
The
for
happy
Roosy.
endings?
If you
No,
want,
my
if you're
first-
looking for.
my first idea was I was like, yo, last time I went to Ruzi, everything was wall to wall food,
Yeah, bro.
whores, drugs.
Yeah. It was a bit much.
It was much. It was, but for a video, it was perfect. You know what I mean?
okay.
I'm gonna walk down Ruzi, and he's gonna fucking follow me, and that's what we're gonna get. But when we got there, there was fucking
Damn,
nobody.
bro.
They
Yeah,
cleaned it up.
Yo,
Some bands.
everything
It was
on,
just that
bro.
corner happened to just have, you know what I mean, some of the food and some of the girls and shit. So we shot it there.
I would have directed out of 90th for Roosevelt because I go see Rills.
We passed it.
Rills lives right around there. Well, it's right off Ruzy. Like as soon as you go bust it,
Eff was
that lamp.
incriminating himself right now.
No, not making. I never.
Yes,
No, because I always go see Reels who
Oh,
runs
sure,
the
sure.
studios, and he every time I'm like, yo,
He's there?
motherfucker.
Yo, Rose is always at 90th getting a massage.
I'm like, yo, there'd be like 10 fucking chicks out, Asian chick. I'm like, yo, how the fuck is anybody even? How do they even share the profits? I was like, yo, so many of them.
Yo, how much they charge?
How much they charge, Ever?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. He got exactly that right now in his pocket and shit. I don't know what they charge, but I happen to have exactly $35 in my pocket.
Yeah. All right, let's go into the next one, man. We spoke about this a little bit. This album cover is fucking fly, man. This shit is
Hip hop,
dope.
Hector Lavoe.
Oh man,
Hey,
that's my beautiful cherubic face, man. For people who don't know, the legend, the salsa legend, one of the first salsa singers ever, right? Created him and Willie Colon created salsa along with Fania. This is one of his album covers, and I always saw it in my house, man. You know, growing up, he was a huge influence in salsa music. And
You emulated it so great. It looks almost the same.
I got to shout out Zach from Rotten Island Records for that, because when I told him what I wanted, he knew the record. Obviously, Rotten Island Records, the record store, used to be in Brooklyn. It's in the Lower, right?
Yeah, now it's in the lower.
It's in Lower East Side, in the back of Lambs. And when I told him the record, he's like, I got the record. I already know what it looks like. And I'm like, can you recreate that? Because it looks like he shot it where you take your fucking junior high school pictures in fucking 92, right?
The background.
Some guy,
paper background.
Vintage, that
background,
vintage type of look.
shit. He was like, "Nah, we could make it happen and shit." So
Got
he
that nice haze in the
Yeah, he
fuzz.
took-
It
he
almost
took-
looks pornographic.
he took the shot. He made the cover. So I got to shout out to Zach from Rotten Island, and Zach is a huge supporter of underground hip hop forever too. So
He did your other cover too.
he did the cover for the album
14 Karat.
after that, 14 Karat Gold Slum
Karat,
Computer
right.
Wizard, which was a take on the Slick Rick, famous Slick Rick picture, which a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people hit me up for that, like, "Yo, what's up with that cover?" I'm like, if you don't know, just say you don't know.
You know, you know, damn it.
I did notice that one, right? And that was one of that, right? You dropped that, Blocktoberfest, and then this project.
Oh yeah, after when the first time I was here, the first time I was here was for Money House Blessing, right?
Yeah, it was right around there.
Money House Blessing. Shouts to Steel Tip Dove. I recorded in his studio, and he produced Smorgasbord. Did I tell you that?
Word?
Steel Tip Dove produced Smorgasbord on
That's
that record.
Alaska's boy.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that. But that was that record. After that, I did Blocktoberfest with Level 13. I put out a vinyl for that, which is a square vinyl. You know what I mean? I had never seen a square vinyl before. So the vinyl for Blocktober, there's very few left. I got like 5 copies left. It sold out very fast. And I actually took it, like I physically took it to a bunch of stores. And when the owners would see it, they're like, "Yeah, give us 5 copies." You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? Like, it's actually the record itself is.
It's like a lithograph.
It's square, yeah. It's a square record.
How do you actually play it on a record?
Well, it has circle grooves.
Yeah, the grooves are still circular in the middle. You know what I mean? But
so you pull it out of the thing and it's squared. Out of the cover, it's
a square record.
It stays like the cover, like.
But the grooves are circle,
yeah, right.
I've never seen that shit.
Yeah, me neither.
I've never seen that.
Exactly. So that's the vinyl for Blocktoberfest.
That's dope.
So I did Blocktoberfest, Respectfully, and 14 Karat Gold Slum, and now we're here with All Due Respect.
Dope,
I mean, I'm a big fan of showing our Hispanic roots. You know, I'm a big fan of that. So when I saw that, I'm like, this is gold right here.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that. You know, I mean, I was born in Peru. My parents are Peruvian. My grandparents, you know, my mother's side goes all the way back to the Incas. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't look like a typical Peruvian person that you would see on Roosevelt Avenue. However, if you go to Peru, there's, you know, my grandfather's blacker than that paint right there. You know what I mean? And so are my cousins on his side. You know, and then on my mother's side, her father, and they're white, light skin, green eyes. You know what I'm saying? So there's all kinds of shit. But I wanted to show that now those roots, they're still in me. You know what I mean? Even though I grew up in New York my whole life, those roots are still there, and they're a part of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You can go back as far as you want to. You know, there was Puerto Rican gangs and Puerto Rican breakers and Puerto Rican rappers and DJs and Dominicans and Peruvians. I mean, you know, there was Peruvians in the 70s that were part of hip hop. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I think we had an ill conversation last time.
Yeah,
that you would hear about that.
Yeah, there's part of it everywhere. So I wanted to make
that was around that time where that shit kicked off. All those talk about, you know, Hispanics being a part of the start of hip hop.
Hip hop,
black owned thing.
Yeah, and I remember, like, you know, we actually, I think it was with you. It was around that time.
I think it was when I was here with Gems and A that was going on.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. I can't be positive, but I wanted to make sure that, you know, that part was represented. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's part of my roots, and this music is for everybody. You know what I mean? No matter who you are.
Really.
All right. Last but not least,
definitely is.
We spoke about this. This came up last time.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it again because I know it's a resurgence. Don't be a piece of shit your whole life.
The podcast coming soon.
Talk about that, man.
I had a little show called "Don't Be a Piece of Shit Your Whole Life," where I taught life lessons. You know what I mean? How to tie a tie. You know what I mean?
Smoke a cigar.
How to smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
You know how to talk to women and shit like that.
Shout out to Busta Rhymes.
You know what I mean?
It's good
Not
TikTok
that way.
content. It's good TikTok content.
It is now, right? And back then, I got a few views on YouTube, but I at the same time I was doing a podcast with Bloodstained Lane called Silk Shirts and Fast Hands, and you know it was early on in the podcast game. There weren't a lot of people doing podcasts.
Yeah,
and now that everyone's doing a podcast, I'm like, maybe it's time to bring it back. You know what I mean? Especially since, like, I'm kind of thinking of winding down with my rap career and shit, not doing as much and shit. I still want to do stuff. You know what I mean? I still want to be a part of hip hop.
Yeah,
part
touch
of
on that. Like,
you know
what's
what I mean?
your plans? Like, you know, because we were talking about that before. Like, what's your plans?
Well, you know,
in the future after you drop these projects.
Right now, I'm focused on, with all due respect, you know what I mean? I'll give it all my energy. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do for the next project, but there is another project that's done. It's being mixed down right now with my homie Rob Victim, a producer out of Austin, Texas. another legend in the game. He's been producing back since the Def Jux.
Yeah,
days,
I've been
too.
following him on.
You know what I mean? So he's been around. So we got an album coming out, and then while that one's out, I'm gonna be working on what's probably my final full length album.
Yeah.
Which will be called God Is an Artist, where I really want to like flex my artistic muscle, and kind of tracks will be touching on different subjects, you know what I mean? Touching on my life, touching on my daughters, touching on the way I grew up, hip hop, and just trying to be artistic with it. But after that, I don't see myself dropping full length albums anymore, because like I was telling y'all, man, being an independent artist, I don't think it really makes sense right now.
Logistically,
it's
tough.
you know, you got to invest a lot, and that's just a part of the game.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Promo, the merch.
Right. You got to promo, merch,
yeah. My
record.
wife
Advertising.
thinks I'm paying him to be my friend.
Because I hit him up. I'm like, yo, we got to pay for this. We got to pay for the promo. We got to pay for the video. He's like, all right, I'll send you the money.
He looks at the statement. She's like, "What are you paying?"
And then his wife looks at the bills like, yo, you keep sending Eff Yoo money. Like, you paying to hang out with you?
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
I'm going to start charging. Want to rent me to be your friend?
Subscription.
Nah, it is a lot, man. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of capital.
It's not a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
work. It's a lot of capital. And sometimes it's not a lot of return.
Yeah.
Because
Because really, the work is passion. Like,
Right.
It's not even work. It's
Well,
you
for
doing it out of love.
me, the work is passion, but I want people to see it and hear it.
Yeah.
If I'm making a record and no one is gonna see it or hear it, what am I doing it for?
Yep.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? No.
Hell
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? No matter what, if no one's there to hear it, it doesn't. If no one hears the passion that you put into this song, it's nothing.
Yeah, it's
To me,
worthless.
It's
Yeah,
worthless.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want people to hear it. That's the most important thing. I make okay money. You know, we make money back with the records. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we break even, and that's what it is. That makes me happy because I got the record out. You know what I
At
mean?
least, yeah, you had at least financially you hit your goal, but you know you got it in front of some people. That
Right.
You wanted new ears and new people to hear.
But
it,
I think
you know?
nowadays it's like the 10-track, 12-track, 13, 16-track album is not viable for
Yeah.
independent artists. If you're on a larger record label and they're paying for the whole thing and then taking you on tour and you're making money, for sure, go for it.
Yeah.
I prefer those, but a lot of people, it's the skip generation. You know what I'm saying? The
An
song I
example
know-
of that, sorry to cut you off,
Nah, go ahead.
Redman had just came out with an
Right.
album. How many tracks he had
That
on
joint
that?
is hilarious too.
Like
That joint-
28, bro. Imagine.
A lot of skits in it, but 28 tracks.
That's
People
crazy.
see that they get, oh shit.
So to what you were saying, you know what I'm
like,
saying?
I gotta hear I gotta finish the whole album. That kind of.
I
thing.
feel like somebody like us, with our age and just from the time period that we come from and where we come from, we'll listen to it, and then we'll decide which tracks are dope and don't want to listen to again,
Yeah.
or the whole thing again. For the younger generation, which there's a lot of people from the younger generation who like the type of hip hop that we're doing. You know what I mean?
That boom
Some of the
bap.
highest selling artists, West Side Gun, Rock Marciano, Nas. They're older than us. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And they're still ill and they're still selling records. But the younger generation, they'll see a 28-track album and be like, yikes, I'm not listening to this whole thing.
Yeah,
or I'm
yeah,
going to listen to
yeah.
the first 10 seconds. And if I don't like the first 10 seconds, it's skip. And then you don't get paid. You get paid fucking little
30
knowledge
seconds.
after 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Drop a little knowledge for y'all. So if people don't listen to at least 30 seconds of the track, you don't get paid from it. Even though you're getting paid fucking fractions of a
That
penny.
streaming money is white. Like when I hit up Spit Gems about the project, the one he just dropped, I was like, yo, you're gonna, because the Knife Work, he sent it. I bought it from him. He sent it to me digitally. Right, he sent me the file.
Right.
So I was like, yo, you doing the same thing? He's like, nah, I'm just gonna do right now. You know, eventually down the line, I'm gonna do it like that. But I'm just doing hard copies, CDs, and vinyls.
Yeah,
So I was like, fuck it. I was like, send it to me. I'll copy it.
I try to do the best for the fans that are actually gonna spend their money and buy it, like the vinyl for Blacktoberfest. I wanted to make sure that it was something dope. You're gonna spend your money on it, you're gonna have something dope.
Yep.
It's gonna open up. It's gonna tell you a story. The
artistic.
artwork was fly. Piece to PQ, who put that out there for me, who did the art for me on it. Same thing with Respectfully Eff Yoo. When you get the record, it's like a candy blue.
I love that
It's-
blue.
you know what I mean?
I'm
It's
not a vinyl collector. Like I don't have
it's a
no
beautiful
vinyls,
record,
but
though.
I love the way like that shit looked. Like, when I
I
saw
want to
that
make sure
shit, like,
if you're
damn,
gonna
that shit
spend
is
your
dope.
money, you're gonna get something worth your
Hang
money.
it up on the
Yeah.
wall, B.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. Something that's fire.
Bringing it sexy for y'all, man.
So I
might
want
have
to
to
give
start
that out to
doing
the
that.
fans first. So listen, this is your chance. Like this record, with all due respect, we're first gonna put it out on vinyl. It's dope because it's like the old school 7-inch Fania records. You know what I mean? The old maxi singles and shit. They used to be little 7-inch records and shit.
Yup.
It looks just like that. So that's something for your collection. Something, if you're buying it, you're gonna have something tangible and something dope. And then you get the tracks with the bonus remix. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, we'll put it out on streaming just for everybody else to get new fans and for people who haven't heard it and didn't buy the record. Here's your chance to listen to it. But the real fans, they got it first. You know what I mean?
That's how it should be.
I think that's the way to move forward for independent artists, in my opinion. And so, like I said, God is an Artist will be my last full length, but I'll still put out projects, 3-4 track projects, singles and stuff like that. Just 'cause
As they come.
it's in me. You know what I mean? To put it out.
I remember you. We last time we saw you after a show and you did a quick interview with us and you said that and people was on the comments like, yo, no, Eff Yoo, hip hop needs you, don't go. It was a whole big thing, a whole list of people was like, yo, Eff Yoo, damn, that shit like you're not gonna do hip hop no more. That shit was.
Yo, Eff Yoo, what up, man?
Yo, what's good, man? It's Eff Yoo. You know what it is.
Yo, you just finished the fucking performance.
Thank you, brother.
Talk a little bit about that, man.
Listen, the Hip Hop Advocates was in the building, hyping me up. I needed my panas in there, man.
Y'all ready to get this shit started? Say hell yeah!
I had a good time, man. We need to keep shit like this. We need to keep hip hop alive. We need to keep coming to shows, you know, and supporting people. You know what I mean? So I was happy to do it. This year, I got 3 albums tentatively coming. I got another one with Deep coming out called With All Due Respect. I got another one with Rob Victim coming out later on in the year. And I'm working on my final album, gonna drop at the end of the year. You know, I'm not gonna stop rapping and shit. Just, you know, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, putting out albums and shit.
I mean, the way that the crowd was vibing with you, yo, it was obvious.
Half chicken, half lamb, extra barbecue. No halal. You better pray. Half chicken, half lamb, extra barbecue. No halal. My name is Eff Yoo. Thank you very much. Make some noise for Eff Yoo, y'all. When I say F, y'all say you. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I'm gonna take some time too. I'm gonna do shows overseas. I'm gonna go to England. I got something in Bogota, Medellin. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to go everywhere. I'm trying to be everywhere.
Thank you for taking the time, man, for the advocates.
Thank you, motherfucking I don't know if
Comments
I
is
think
lit up.
during that interview I tried to make the point that I'm not gonna stop making music. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, as far as albums, it's probably gonna be my last full length. And being that it's gonna be my last full length, I want to go out with a bang.
You're gonna make it
So-
20 tracks.
No, but I'm gonna make it as many tracks as like I feel. Cause even with Respectfully Eff Yoo, thank you, brother. With Respectfully Eff Yoo, when Deep was like, how many tracks we're gonna make? And I'm like, let's just keep going until it naturally feels like this is the album. And I
like
think
that.
it's 8 tracks, right? At 8 tracks, we were like, okay, this is it. You know what I mean? This is it. And we put it out. With this one, it wasn't so much that. It was a little bit more thought out. I'm like, nah, let's put out this EP as like a companion to that. And then we'll keep going. You know what I mean? And if we do a third one, you know what I mean?
I think the big thing is not to push. Let the shit come out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Natural.
Definitely don't
Right.
force it.
You might get a hemorrhoid, guys. No,
Don't push.
but no, straight up, just like doing everything naturally. You know what I'm saying? Ya yo terminé el segundo, pero
Well, you know what? If you guys don't mind me, you know, taking a little bit of your question, what do you feel about that? Like, you're a producer, right? You put out a producer album when we first, the first time we collaborated. Besides the Garcia
compilation?
Vega, you put out a compilation. What do you feel about like what I'm saying, where hip hop is going? Are you gonna put out a compilation? Does it make sense?
So I put out that compilation because the label asked me to. What was the label again? Oh, I had an accident records. Yeah. The dude, shout outs to Damien, asked me to do a compilation. I didn't want to deal with that shit. Like, you know, working with MCs and whatever, that's a jodienda.
Yeah.
But shout outs to everybody who I did work with. And like I said, it made it like, oh, word. It was a good experience. Like, except for that, shout outs to Low Deck, because that kid, Noah, put his rhymes off beat, and I didn't catch it. Yeah, and I know. I mean, it was too late. And
I still know that, man.
I didn't even catch it, but I felt really bad. But like we kind of worked with that kid later on, and then like you saw how like he was kind of interesting to work with, and I was hoping he could fix it, but he was never able to. Anyway, I don't really want to. There's a lot like whatever at our age. I don't really want to deal with jodienda. So,
Low Deck, if you want me to fucking find that kid and fucking hurt him for you, let me know.
Kick his ass.
Because that's horrible, bro. Putting your verse off beat.
Yeah, and it meant a lot to me because
It's hard to hear.
It's hard to hear.
Low Deck, I hadn't worked with him in 20 years, and he sends me a verse. But the thing is, you know what? Yo, shout out to Low Deck again. He recorded that shit in his bathroom because it was during the pandemic, and he recorded it like I don't know how he did it, but it wasn't synced. Mm-hmm. So the engineer didn't have like the time. Yeah, he did the best he could, and Low Deck's style is very intricate, and so I hear it like I can hear it like he was like his the end rhyme scheme wasn't landing on the 4 the way he wanted it to, but he has a lot of internal rhyme scheme that you would be able to get lost in it. You guys got me on rap jargon?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like like that would be like A B or A B C C A B kind of a thing when he rhymes. And wherever, so somebody who might
The
not
engineer had it landing where it wasn't supposed to land, but it still made sense sonically.
It made sense sonically, but personally,
Yeah,
to the
Right, of
artist.
course.
Anyway, what I was saying before that, it doesn't. Shout out to my boy Observe too, because he was saying a lot of the pressing companies are pressing for samples and asking about samples. And like this art didn't come up on sample. Like we're a sample driven culture.
Didn't come up on clearing samples.
I mean, just they'll just that a lot of pressing plants have been shutting down projects.
Right, they want you to clear. They want you to clear the samples. Yeah.
Like vinyl.
Yeah.
Anything. It could
On
be
pressing plants. Yeah, I've gotten that a couple times. That on 14 karat actually. 14 karat is on vinyl. I got a few copies left, but I had to clear a couple samples.
No, I never thought like that. Like you're paying them to.
Yeah, like shut up and do your job.
Yeah, like that's not your problem. That's my problem.
Yeah,
but I guess they must have some kind of mind.
You know what it is?
Say
like
you get sued.
Like AI taking over is really trying to. I don't know. And also, like labels are trying to get us. So
labels aren't making as much money as they used
big
to.
labels are getting more desperate. So they're
definitely
using AI tech. They're using a lot of things to try to scrounge any penny they can. You just got to
using AI to find the sample in your beat and then go after everyone they can. So they go after the producer, the artist, the plant, the person who bought it if they could. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to go after everybody to get that.
A lot of these big labels, they had, for example, they had this whole floor.
You mean the farm? The farm.
The
streaming farms?
No, I'm talking about, for example, is how labels that they're losing money. They're not making the money they used to make. They used to have a whole floor. Now they got a corner.
Oh,
room
right.
Yeah.
They don't got the money to support all that.
Yo, you're gonna have
space.
Illuminati coming for us, man. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about the streaming. Whoa! Edit that out. Labels do not.
No.
Whoa!
Drake put it out there. Drake was the one that put it out there. I have a streaming farm. It's like my son's iPad. Yo, keep it streaming on the weekend. Leave it. We going out, Zeke. We going out. Yeah. Leave the shit on loop.
Nah, it's tough, man. It's changed a lot, and it's. I sent you a clip last night at like fucking 5. Well, this morning because I woke up at 5 a.m. to take a leak, and I couldn't fucking go back to sleep. I'm going through Instagram.
No problems. I relate to this.
No, and I was going through Instagram. And I sent you something of Laura London.
That's the second mistake you made. You're not supposed to look at when you get up.
Right?
When you get up to
screens
pee,
will fuck you up.
When you get up to pee, go back, try to close your eyes.
Yeah,
and
well, no, I did actually go back to sleep like 20 minutes later. But I was like, I just started scrolling, and I sent him a clip of Lauren, the chick Lauren London, talking about how there's no music. Like her hair was all fucked. Like she's a pretty girl, but for that interview, her hair was like she looked like she just rolled out of bed and went to the radio station. But she's talking about how there's no music, there's no money in music anymore. Your money is in the merchandising and all the other
and doing shows.
Exactly.
We want to do a lot more shows. Like
that's where it is and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really, that in reality,
that's where the money is. As far as streaming and selling records, it's really you're doing a service more for the fans than for yourself. Like we said, we broke even I did a record with Spit Gens, Rikers Island Boxing School. We got like 1 million streams.
Yeah.
We didn't make a lot of money. Yo, when we saw that, when you showed me, you're like, where's the money, bro? Like, what the fuck? And where's my plaque? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's got to be a show. You got to do everything at shows.
You gotta make money at shows.
I DJ and I beat set at shows. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll do that, and then I'll try to sell merch after that. But you have to be there for the fans, and that's like you have to be present. This digital stuff. I mean, even like we were talking about, like just to go back to his point on releasing full-length albums, not making any sense. If you look at the radio playlist, you can get a placement on a playlist one week, and then like you'll see a whole list of different songs the next week. Yeah. That's crazy.
You're not even on it the next week.
You're not even on it.
You'll be on this one week. You won't even be on it.
Who got to hear it?
Nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And real quick, let me close out that segment because I forgot. And that was Searching for Eff Yoo and Deep.
We went on a tangent. Before you close out, shout out to Low Deck, man. He's another fucking legend who he should get more props than he does. Y'all should be interviewing him for real because back in the days, back in the late 90s, 99, 98, I knew Low Deck and, I was inspired by him. I wasn't really trying to do hip-hop. I was I worked for the Ruckus Street team and, I'd be outside the lines at like Brownies and shit and just selling drugs and giving out free Ruckus gear and shit.
Multitasking.
But I was focused on that. I wasn't focused on that other shit. But he was one of the illest, man. So shout to Deck.
Nah, man.
Plug us with Deck, man. We can make it happen.
Oh, Low Deck 1.
Low Deck, come on your fucking
IG.
spaceship and shit.
He
Show up
lives
already.
in Vegas, by the way.
Oh, he's in Vegas.
He lives in Vegas. Yeah.
Why you
so
giving
no,
the
never
people's
mind.
fucking
Address.
and shit, man? Maybe
Apartment
you don't want
4B.
people to know. You live in Area
He
51.
already got my social security. Why
Yo,
not?
word, I got it.
There's nothing he can't find.
Yo, Rob, Eff Yoo said in the beginning of this episode that Deep has been doing hip hop since the 90s. That he's a kind of like a hip hop historian almost.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm thinking that
You gonna quiz me on shit?
he's been. You know where I'm going with this, then. Damn it. So since he's been around that whole time, he has a lot of hip hop IQ.
Yeah.
As well as our brother Eff Yoo. You got anything in the chamber
sweat.
to give these
Are
guys?
you freestyling already?
Bring them back to school.
Yeah, man. I mean, a little something, something to educate our audience.
The
We like to
viewers.
do a little something that we like to call hip hop trivia.
Okay.
Shit. Let me preface this by saying that my memory's shot, son. I've done
Well,
acid, fucking all drugs in my younger years.
After 9/11, I forgot lyrics.
Wait, what?
Dog.
No, after 9/11, everything is yesterday. Like, oh yeah, I was just there. No, babe, that was like 10 years ago. Oh, sweat.
shit.
But let's see what. Don't ask me
Well,
about the big
here's the
t-shirt
good thing.
era.
It's multiple
Let's go.
choice.
All right.
So you don't gotta guess.
okay.
You don't gotta
You can
guess.
phone a friend. You know what I'm saying? Phone a friend.
Whose ass did Nelly swipe?
All
Oh
right.
shit, that's right.
So here's the first question.
Tip,
We got
tip,
5
tip,
for
tip.
you. All right?
All right.
Y'all can both answer. If one of y'all get it first, you just throw it out there. We got the Lamborghini outside
Now you're
waiting.
making it a competition and shit.
You
Now
know?
hold on.
You get
Put
4
this-
out of 5, you win the Lamborghini
Jack
parked in the
Daniels
parking
down.
lot. I don't know if you saw that. First one is which
Oh, I only
super.
do muscle cars. Sorry. no.
Okay. Well, you can trade it in. You can buy 3 with that Lamborghini.
All right, there we go. And the JDM.
All right. First one is which superhero does Ghostface Killer reference most often?
You talking about
Iron
super? It's
Man.
Tony Starks,
Iron
right?
Man,
Of
yeah,
course.
thanks.
Look at that. I didn't even have to read all the
No,
choices.
that- I mean,
my,
you talking-
my dad put me onto that cartoon,
As
the
a fr-
original. So
And you-
it was dope when he sampled it.
And
'cause I
you're
was like,
talking.
But
you're
I'm talking about
to-
Ghostface Killer, the rapper.
yeah, Iron
You're,
Man.
Okay.
you're talking to two Marvel heads too. You know, we bond a lot about
You got
comic
you got a
books and all
Spider-Man
that.
shirt under there,
Got
right?
Spider-Man
yeah,
shirt
and
on,
that,
right?
and that just
Look at
happened.
that.
To happen.
You got a
Show them.
Spider-Man shirt on?
Yeah, yeah,
Look
that
at
is.
that. It wasn't even
You
coordinated,
don't believe
right?
it? It might be the same cover. Hold on.
Yeah, there's a lot of synchronicity.
FYI, this nigga
Hey, go ahead.
Eff Yoo made me take off my sweater because we had the same color sweater. I was like, yo, we couldn't match.
Oh, you showed it?
I don't know if I showed it, but I did. I did make him take off his sweater because I showed up with this
Yeah,
fucking
we got the
olive
same
color.
exact color
Yo, listen,
sweater.
hold on. This sweater's a fly color, right? It's not normal that people wear olive colored hoodies and shit. and black fucking pants. He's wearing black pants and he had an olive hoodie on. I'm like, yo, son, you have to
With
take
Tim-
it off.
with my Tim-
Or I'm leaving.
You guys across the street. I'm like,
And then he was like, I got a black t-shirt. I'm like, me too,
I said,
son.
wait, I didn't follow the dress code for the show.
We didn't get the memo.
All right, that's
All
definitely, yeah, that's Tony Stark.
I thought I
Tony Stark,
had to wear
man.
Nikes for this show because I saw y'all guys in another show. Everybody had like Air Force Ones. I was like, all right.
Now we're very fashion orientated. We try to keep it, Try to at least stay.
Either got that one quick, bro.
All
What else you
right.
got for them?
All right. So who is credited for inventing the term hip hop?
Oh, that's like
Busy B? Would that be
Is
Busy
it
B?
Keith Cowboy Wiggins,
Okay.
Africa Bambaataa, DJ Kool Herc, or none of the above? Who is credited for
I
the
know
term?
it's not Bam.
It's not Bam.
It can't be Bam.
Let's not talk about Bam.
Let's not talk
It's not,
about
it's
touching
not
Bam.
Africa Bambaataa. I said my first response was Busy B because I could have sworn, again, I was fucking 2 years old maybe. But I could have sworn he was the first that I heard on his freestyles. Like hip,
let
hippity hop, hip to the
let
hip
me
hop.
answer this. Who invented hip hop?
The term? No, who invented the term hip hop?
Yeah, the term hip hop was Curious and the Beatnuts.
Who was Keith?
Or else I would have been listening to freestyle.
The first one is Keith Wiggins.
Keith Cowboy Wiggins.
Who's that? Chief Wiggums from The Simpsons?
Nah, that's
what I thought.
That was a dude from the 70s. I don't know. Honestly,
All right, is none of the above?
I'm gonna say Herc. It's got to be Herc then, because it's not Bambaataa, and I don't think it's Chief Wiggums.
Is it Wiggums?
it is Wiggins.
Why would you
hold
pick
up.
Chief Wiggums, a fucking obscure rapper from
Keith
the 70s?
Cowboy Wiggins. I guess he came up with the term. I googled this.
That's
shit.
a horrible question, bro. Next.
Yo, how you scoring that? Because he said it, and you said...
Both got it wrong.
None of them.
Yeah, all right. All right,
I said it definitively.
That's X. All right.
Nah, fuck that. Got it wrong.
Here's another one. Here's another head scratcher. Who invented record scratching?
Oh, DXT. Give me the choices.
No.
Cut.
A. Grandmaster Flash.
No.
B. Grand Wizard Theodore.
No.
And
C. DJ Red Alert.
No, it's Flash.
D. Jam Master J.
No, it's Flash.
You saying Flash?
Yeah.
nah, wasn't it DXT? Wasn't
Nah, it wasn't DXT.
Scratching itself.
It was Flash, bro.
But that wasn't one of the... You know what I'm saying? That wasn't one of
so I
the...
It was like
Flash.
immortalized. It's been immortalized.
All right.
So Flash.
So Flash,
Theodore.
he mastered
So
the
Grand
art
Wizard
of
Theodore.
scratching.
Oh.
It was
Plot
Grand
twist.
Wizard Theodore. He's the one who invented scratching on a record, on a vinyl record.
It wasn't DXT, bro?
Nah, well, once again, Google. That's what
Brother.
Google gave me. I'm going by Google.
All due respect, can you ask me questions from my fucking generation, my nigga? Like, I was not. I was.
We're gonna get
I was, bro. I was still in Peru when you fucking the things you're asking me
this is
about.
why you
And
should
then
take-
I wasn't even
scratch,
born
I
yet.
wasn't even born yet.
I wasn't even born yet.
I wasn't even born
I was
yet
born
back then.
85.
This is
I
why you
was-
should have the Spider-Man shirt on so we can look like an old school hip hop group.
Nah,
wearing
bro.
matching costumes.
Yo, and that's one thing, just for the viewers, we're learning this shit as we go as well. We don't know these
That's
questions.
That's the fun part.
We got to be honest.
Let me tell you, the first time I heard hip hop or rap, whatever it was called at the time, was probably '86. That's when I came to New York.
Was it Fresh Prince?
No, it was actually, I lived in Corona, and it was The Bridge Is Over, which is like sacrilege in Queens. You know what I mean? Because he's talking shit about Queensbridge and shit.
Yeah, you can't.
But that piano sample, I could never. I remember that shit coming out of my uncle's room, and up until that time, all I ever heard was like salsa and boleros and like rock and roll
Cumbia.
from my uncles, cumbia, like Spanish music and rock and roll, right, from my uncles who were younger and just in the 70s and shit, disco.
The hip uncles.
Right. But when I heard that, it was that and the drums, and I was like, I was in love from that point on.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna get a little closer now to our times, but still far back. So the legendary group, the Beatnuts,
All right.
Okay.
they were discovered by which hip hop group? Discovered.
Tribe.
Native tongue.
Wait.
Y'all gotta hear the.
Okay, let's hear the choice. Because
the
Native
choices.
Tongues is not a hip hop group.
No,
They're
it's
like
a
a
crew.
collective.
Well,
Yeah.
group,
They were
collective,
part of that
crew.
crew.
Okay, go
Who
ahead.
discovered them?
Okay, go ahead.
Jungle Brothers.
Okay.
B. Native Tongues. C. DITC. Or D. The Juice Crew.
Okay. it's.
I'm gonna say
see,
Jungle
Jungle Brothers and Native Tongues. Jungle Brothers were in Native Tongues.
Right, yeah.
So it depends if
Well,
you're
just
counting Native Tongues. Nah,
Yes.
then I'll say Jungle Brothers then, because the Native
So
Tongues,
what?
20
Alright.
people didn't
It was-
discover
I got
them,
it.
right?
So Jungle Brothers is the one who introduced
ding,
him,
ding,
the
ding,
whole
ding,
thing.
ding.
Okay.
You know,
I was
the
gonna
whole
say
thing into a
Tribe.
circle.
I was gonna say Tribe because of the whole.
Well, Jungle Brothers went to high school with Tribe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how they met. They met them when they were like 16 when the Beatles.
You know
were
what
like
the crazy
16.
shit is in that at that time when Native Tongues was out, right?
Murray Bertram.
Mm.
That's what they
On the radio, on hip hop. I mean, wherever they played hip hop, right? There wasn't a full hip hop station yet, but you would hear Tribe, you would hear hardcore hip hop, you would hear Heavy D and the Boys,
Yeah.
you would hear West Coast hip hop, you would hear freestyle, and that was all on one station. You know what I'm saying? And that's you can't. Any hip hop station you turn on to now, there isn't that.
Hell no, you
that
don't
choice. You know, you can only hear a certain kind
like
of
if
lane.
you go to the neighborhood party, they would play everything: house, hip hop, and freestyle. And then now,
Like every genre had
Right.
had like a time, like a 15, 20 minute
but,
play.
but everybody would dance, and everybody
And that's how
would
you got
dance
to
it.
know the shit that you liked and shit that you didn't like. And, you know, you might be really into one style, but then you heard other shit like, oh, no, that shit is dope, too. And that just doesn't exist nowadays, which
The
is
illest
sad.
feeling,
You know what I
the
mean?
illest feeling was going to a party. Like for me, I used to love, especially like before like all the social media and all that shit. I go to a party and just hearing something I never heard for like
Yeah,
ever
something
before,
new.
and I'm like, yo, and I'm
newish.
going crazy trying to like, who is that?
See-
Where the fuck? Like
See,
now it's like so easy to find.
my
everything.
shit wasn't parties
Shazam.
because when I was in junior high school, there'd be hooky parties.
Mm-hmm.
But hooky parties was like reggae, freestyle, hip hop,
Yeah.
R&B, right? But you didn't hear really shit new because you know hooky party was your peers. You would hear new shit on mixtapes or on the radio shows, on Future Flavors, on Stretch and Bobbito. And then you'd be like, yo, who is that? And sometimes they'd play a record and never, ever play that person again.
Yeah.
Yo, there's records. And I was talking to Gems the other day. I'm like, there's records that you heard and you still to this day, we don't know who they are. But them records was fucking ill. You know what I mean? And you would go crazy trying. And then when you'd find it, I remember when I
That
heard Put
mystique
It,
is lost, yo.
Yeah, I remember when
That
I heard.
mystique is
I remember when I
lost.
heard "Put It in Your Mouth" by Akinelli was on a mixtape, and it was somebody playing it at a car. Remember they used to have car clubs.
Yeah.
You used to have car clubs. We were little kids in the car club and shit, and they were playing it. And I'm like, yo, wait. Then when I found the mixtape that it was just a random
it on?
mixtape that had it, I was the man in the hood, bro. I'm like, yo, I got put it in your mouth. Put
I heard the
it in
funkiest
your
on the
mouth.
mixtape.
Like, yo, this shit is
Oh
crazy.
man.
Like funk dubious. That was like a big thing. Hearing like Sun Doobie rap. I think it was on a doo-wop tape, an early doo-wop tape. I'm like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore either.
I like what you say, the mystique of it all.
That shit's gone, man.
It's
You
just
got one
awesome.
more question for our people?
Got one more, and this is related to what you guys got doing, coming up with your project.
All right.
Which one of the rapper producer combos never did a full collab album? They've done music
than
together.
anybody else.
Primo.
Nah, we're gonna do it easy.
Oh, it's coming. You heard?
Don't jump the gun.
Max Appeal just
That's
announced.
coming.
DK.
But never
DK,
done it.
DK, we'll see.
And I'm talking about not just done the song together,
Go
two
ahead.
songs on an album, a
Never
full
put out a
album,
record. Okay.
a full album together.
Okay.
Royce the 5'9" and DJ Premier,
They have one.
Jay-Z and No ID, Nas and Marley Marl, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
Okay, wait a minute. Does Jay-Z have a full album with no ID? A full album that he produced? No ID?
That's
I
the
think-
question.
Because Nas
Reason
doesn't have a
wasn't-
full album produced by. What was the option?
Nas and Marley Marl, Snoop
that
Dogg,
doesn't
Snoop Dogg and Dre,
Nas and Marley Marl doesn't exist. For a fact, that's the answer.
Yeah.
Jay-Z and No ID.
But I'm trying to poke holes in Jay-Z and No ID. Do they have a full album?
They
Wasn't
do.
he behind Reasonable Doubt?
He was behind 444.
Did the whole album?
The whole album. No ID. I didn't know that shit until I was doing
Didn't Kanye produce two
On
of
the-
those songs?
on that album.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, No ID,
No
that's
ID is listed as the
Yeah,
producer
yeah.
of the album.
Full,
Because I
that's
looked
right.
up
Calling
albums.
bullshit, folks. Folks, write in.
so
Put
they
in
have
the
to Google
comments
that.
on
So it's
YouTube.
Nas and Marley Marl for sure.
It is not Marley
Yeah, Nas and Marley Marl.
That's
Ding,
the
ding,
answer.
ding, ding,
That's the
ding,
answer
ding,
I got.
For sure.
That's right. I remember
But
No ID.
look it up. 444.
But even
No
Illmatic, Marley Marl doesn't have a song on even Illmatic,
it was
right?
just like a Queen's question.
No, but Marley Marl put him
On
on.
Illmatic? No, he has, I think, 2 tracks on.
Ma-
no,
Ma-
Premier has 2 tracks on
Marley Marl
Illmatic.
put him on Barbecue. No, that's Large Pro. What am I
Yeah,
talking about?
Large Pro has a whole
He doesn't have no
project with-
tracks with Marley then.
No, he does. One of the tracks on Illmatic is produced by Marley Marl.
All right, number 2, I'm calling bullshit on Ephra. Put it in the
Halftime?
comments. Put it in the comments.
Google it.
Was it
girls.
halftime? Who produced
Google it,
halftime? Who produced halftime?
I already see the comments. Why you introduce? Why you fucking?
I think that was
interviewing
Marley
these
Marl.
motherfuckers?
LES, no?
No, you know what it was.
There was
Elliot.
a lot of
I think
producers on
halftime
that
was
album.
Elliot.
That's the problem.
Marley Marl, I don't think was one of them. I could be wrong.
And that's one thing that's lost now. I just want to say that, like, you know,
Producer credits.
no, not producer
the
credits,
liner
but
credits,
like
liner dumps.
that's one thing that was ill. Like, you know, Mobb Deep having and probably used to do the whole album. And Alchemist used to be, you know,
Gangstar.
came in later on,
Gangstar, Wu-Tang.
but we don't have that no more. And especially, I think that shit got lost like around the mid 2000s.
Me and Eff are doing it now.
Well, yeah, no, this is
Let's
what I'm
make it-
related to. Like
Stephanie
what
made a
y'all
comeback.
doing, what
No,
y'all
Stephanie made a
doing.
comeback because
This is what makes a project full and collect and you know
The last
it's trying to-
4 Nas albums were with Hit
Oh,
Boy.
forget about it.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of independent artists, you know what I mean, are putting out projects with singular producers. You know what I mean? I've done that.
That's something that's missed.
I've done that almost my whole career. My first mixtape was with Golden Child, Piece of Golden Child. He did my first mixtape.
I
You know
haven't
what I
heard that
mean?
name in a while.
Yeah, he did all the beats on that shit, and I liked working with one producer because we can just kind of get together and kind of just work together. I've done a couple, maybe two albums where it was 2 or 3 albums where it was with different producers. And that's just a pain in the ass, bro. It's a pain in the ass. And shouts to all the producers who have sent me beats. Thank you very much because obviously you believed in me. But like getting everything together, and then some people don't want to give you track outs. Some people don't have track outs. You know what I'm saying? Which is just how they produce, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like trying to track everything down, then you got to get everything mixed down on your own. You know what I mean? Then you have to. Me personally, I want to check with everyone, even the
when you
features.
say track outs, it's like the breakdown of the beat.
Stems.
Right,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
stems,
yeah.
The stems of the beat.
stems.
Yeah.
Because you know certain producers feel like if I give you all the stems, you might tweak something, and then
Yeah,
it's
and they
not
don't
my
want.
beat.
Yeah, and they don't. Yeah.
Which I understand. I totally get.
It's happened to me a lot.
Yeah, I totally get it. But I try to go back to producers and
Like, why my
features
kick sound pussy?
and show them the tracks
My kick sound
and
like
be
a
like, yo, does this sound good to you? Like
like
is
a
this,
hand
is
wave.
this right? You know what I mean? Is your verse sitting right?
Ando
The
lao
beat sound
kicks.
right and shit.
Communication.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? I like to go back to
Nah,
that.
it's ill, man. Yo,
That was a good one, bro.
I think it's time to save him.
Segment 3.
Yeah, my man the Rubber has
We're
a
gonna
bunch
save
of other
something for
stuff.
next week.
Oh, word?
Right?
We're gonna save it for next week. A Rub got a bunch of stuff.
Oh, hold
under the
on, hold
tuck.
on. I didn't tell you. We got to come back next week. This is a 2-part episode.
It's a 2-part
No, for real.
episode.
No, dead ass.
We're gonna be back with Eff Yoo and Deep. And we'll be back, yo. Peace.
I gotta wear different clothes.
My mama used to wake up Sundays and blast salsa while cleaning the sala. I'm in my room bagging marijuana, relaxing and actually masterfully crafting the master plan how to clap nalgas. I just wanna eat fruta with a mean Buddha that keep the weed secretly beneath the fupa.